Now on to another story that survived the weekend, the Sony leaks. Today, super lawyer David Boies, now working on behalf of Sony, sent letters to news organizations and websites demanding that they would destroy or avoid using information that was stolen by hackers. While in the New York Times yesterday, super screenwriter Aaron Sorkin wrote an op-ed calling anyone reporting on such information, quote, morally treasonous and spectacularly dishonorable. So, Mark, my friend, what say you? Do David Boies and Aaron Sorkin have a point?
I am normally a First Amendment pretty close to absolutist, but I think that they both have a point, which is the people who are spreading this stuff are breaking the law and they're terrorists. And you've got to ask yourself before you publish this stuff, does the news value, to the extent there's news value, some of this stuff there isn't, does it outweigh our shared national and international interest in a right to privacy?
Well, I think you're right that you need to weigh it. And news organizations, unfortunately, are not the only ones who are doing this. There are a lot of other websites that wouldn't qualify by anybody's definition, certainly not ours as a news organization. But there are a lot of things that have been reported that would be considered news if they had been found in another way. If somebody leaked you Amy Pascal and Scott Rudin's emails on the president's movie choice, those racist emails last week, that would have been newsworthy in the same way that Donald Sterling's transgressions were newsworthy earlier in the year. That's news, right? These are public figures.
In the information age, and when you've got super hackers out there, I think we have to think about where did it come from. That's got to be part of the consideration.
I think there's no doubt about it. And I think that Dean Baquet at the New York Times today gave a kind of confusing statement saying these aren't as important as WikiLeaks and they're not as important as Snowden, they're not as important as the Pentagon Papers, but they are, many of these things do go to issues of legitimate public concern, and they're things that we, again, his newspaper and other newspapers would report on them if those emails were leaked by internal employees. And we're not going to be in a position where we're going to say reporters should never receive leaked emails, because that would put a lot of us out of business.
As I've always said, Aaron Sorkin, voice of reason.